Okay.
Folks, we're live.
All right, good evening. Call to order. City of Huntington Woods Zoning Board of Appeals, March 13th, 2023. The first thing on the item is the approval of the agenda. I just want to make sure folks up here have the new agenda. The only difference is that what we got in advance is there's two sets of minutes, one from October 10th and one from December 12th. So I'm looking for an approval of the agenda.
I'd like to approve the agenda.
Thanks, Joe. Second?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item on the list is the approval of the minutes from October 10th and December 12th. Hank, do we do each meeting separately?
That would be up to you. If you feel
All
that
right.
there's no changes, you can take them both.
Let's do them separately. We'll start with October 10th. I'm looking for a motion to approve or to amend the minutes from October 10th, 2022.
I'll make motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then moving on to December 12th, 2022, looking for a motion to approve or amend those minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And now we'll move on to the appeal for the evening from John Steinberg, 25801 Dundee, for a variance to the maximum house size ordinance, Article 4, District Regulations, Section 40-4.03, R1A through R1E, one-family districts, request for a variance of 650 square feet to allow total house size of 3,433 square feet, where 2,700 square feet is allowed. Andy, go ahead.
Mr. Chairperson, I just want to disclose that John is a friend of mine, but I do think that I'm more than capable of being unbiased in this. So I leave it to your discretion or the commission's discretion as to whether to insist on my recusal, but I don't think it's necessary.
I don't insist on any recusal. I'm comfortable. Do we need to vote on this, Hank, or no?
You do.
Okay. So, I guess I would take a motion, looking for a motion to either,
So I'll make a motion for Andy to participate and to vote rather than recusing himself.
Okay, I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That way it's on the record.
Yep. Sure.
Thank you for
Okay,
that, Andy.
thanks.
You're welcome.
Hi,
Mr. Steinberg, how are you?
good. How are you guys?
We're good.
I don't know if you remember, but I was approved for this variance a year ago, or more than a year ago, July of 2021. Due to extenuating circumstances, I was unable to get this project underway. What I'm asking for is for you to reapprove the variance, and Hank Berry said he would actually present the plans on my behalf, and we could go over them again.
Okay, great. Yeah, unless you don't have anything else to add, Hank? Go ahead.
I'm just gonna, just briefly, let me give you a little bit of a fill-in here, and then you may not even want to see the plans. Mr. Steinberg was here in 2021, and he received both Planning Commission approval and ZBA approval. Through a set of circumstances, he was unable to start the project. And as you would be aware, that you have 1 year from the date of approval to start the project. So he didn't make it in that time frame, hence he's going back through the process. Both Planning Commission and the ZBA approved this last time through. Also, he's been to the Planning Commission this year, the last month's Planning Commission meeting, and they reapproved the project. So what he would be looking for you here is just to reapprove what's already been approved, with the understanding that this time around, he'll absolutely vest himself in the project before the 1 year time frame is up. So he is asking for 647, which is the actual square footage of what he needs for the project. His house is on a smaller lot, and it's actually between two lots. One is 13,000 plus, one is 19,000 plus, and his comes in at 8,500 plus. But his house size also fits right in the middle. So it's one of those things where the Planning Commission saw fit to pass it on to the ZBA the first time. The ZBA understood the methodology and how it was arrived at, And it's before you again this evening. If you have any further questions or want to see more or talk more about it, I'm happy to do that, as I'm sure he is.
Hank, I don't have the planning commission meeting minutes in front of me, but did they approve it the second time
They
on the
did approve it
basis?
the second
On the
time.
basis that they approved it, that they had already
Yes,
approved it
exactly.
once? Okay. Any questions for Hank? I'm gonna open it up to public participation on this matter. Anyone from the public wish to say anything? Can you say your name and your address? You can come up to the little podium here.
I'm Mike Stahalik. I'm John's next-door neighbor. My address is 8121 Hendry. And I've seen the plans. I thought they were great first time around, and my position has remained unchanged. I support it.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no one else from the public, I'm going to close public participation and open it up to the board for discussion, questions.
I would just like you explain again to some of the new board members of why you need this variance.
Well, our property, our basement property is half the size of our original house. So, we have a couple of furnaces down there. We have a really small basement. So the idea of it was really to build a closet that's actually, we can store things. It's not really for a sitting room or anything like that. It's off the master bedroom, and it's such that we couldn't go the other direction because we have a bathroom in the way. So it was the best way to actually build the closet, and we were rebuilding our garage as well to make it accommodate 2 cars. As you know, a lot of the garages in Huntington Woods have difficulty doing that.
Yes.
So that's why we went about this project.
I think if I could, Mr. Chair, let me
Go ahead, Hank.
embellish a little bit on what he was saying too. Behind you is the screen, on the screen is the actual floor plan for their basement. If you take a look at it, even though it appears like the whole thing is large, that's a garage, that's unexcavated. This whole thing here is on a crawl space, so that's not usable space. This whole thing here is their mechanical room, leaving them a fairly small portion of their house footprint as a basement. Consequently, when they went through, and let me show you what they've got over here, they're looking for storage space up here, a little bit more storage, a little bit of a sitting room, someplace, a little bit more square footage. But this is what they've got going on here. So they couldn't put this below. They have no basement, so the square footage went above it. Because instead of basement square footage, which is not considered storage or square footage for a house, because it had to come up onto the second floor, that's where it counted as the maximum house size, and that's why there's a discrepancy.
So this is above the
This
proposed
is-
garage?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is above the proposed garage, so it's taking up space that theoretically already exists by
Right.
footprint. And one of the reasons that he's had to do that is there just simply is no basement, and simply no storage in the house by virtue of the way it's designed. And the footprint and the actual foundation plan kind of bears that out for you. This is really primarily the area that we're looking at there. And you can see this is all in your plans there. But you can see his lot too. Another thing that's also was problematic for him is that if you take a look at his configuration of his lot versus the other configurations of the lot that are much larger than his, you can see that his is somewhat of a trapezoid. It goes up and then it cuts back like this. So if his lot went like this, like the other lots in the neighborhood, he wouldn't even need the variance because his lot size would be. So he's handicapped by the existing architecture and he's handicapped by the existing lot configuration. Again, if you have any other questions, I'm certainly happy to answer them.
Thanks, Hank.
Thank you, Hank.
Anyone have any questions? Looking for either questions, further discussion, or a motion?
So the only thing that has changed is the inevitable passage of time. Same everything else. Now you have a a new window of opportunity to, what, pulling the permit is what?
He's got to at least vest himself by
Yeah,
pulling the
okay.
permit.
Makes sense to me.
So to that end, Mr. Chair, you will need to entertain a motion for
Okay.
approval.
I'm looking for a motion to it.
As is.
Thanks, Andy.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, folks.
Thanks again, Nate.
You want your
Yes,
plans?
sir. Um,
Yeah.
John, I'm gonna do you a favor. Here's the building permit application.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care, Mike.
Bye, John.
Good to see
Bye,
you.
Andy.
Mr. Chair, other than that, the only other thing that we have is the election of officers for the year.
Yep.
What would be open would be the chair and the vice chair. So our vice chair is no longer on, so David is not.
I thought Bree was the vice chair.
Oh, Bree is the vice chair, right? I can ask her to step in and see if she wants to continue in that role, if you guys want to appoint somebody else or whatever. It would take me a brief recess of about 2 minutes to ask her if she wants to step in for that, if that's okay, or whatever your pleasure is.
Yeah, I think you should do that.
All right.
Ask her if she wants to chair. Or we can just, I mean, she's not
Usually
here.
you guys can just elect her.
Yeah, I think, right?
That's how I became a chair of a board.
That,
I was a vice chair, and then the
That's-
chair left. That's how it gets you.
That's a danger of not showing up. You just might end up with the keys. So you think we'll see this guy next year? No. Andy, you gonna remind him? Put it.
Mr.
Okay.
Chair, if you want to
You don't
end the
have to.
recess for this.
Yep. Recess is over.
Okay, and Bree is with us. She also serves on the Board of Review and was in the other room attending to those duties, but she's back here for this. Where we're at right now is the election of officers, the chair and the vice chair positions. And Mr. Chair, you can entertain nominations at this point.
Okay, I will entertain nominations for,
I'd like to nominate Adam Wallace to be chair.
thank you. I accept.
Second. Do we
Any
do that?
other-
Do we need a vote?
You do need a vote, but
Okay.
you need to see if there's any other
Okay.
nominations.
Oh,
Hearing none.
Well, go.
Okay.
I'll leave like an extra beat since it's myself.
It's very judicious of you.
You need the vote then.
Okay,
Okay. All in favor of the continuing chairmanship? Sure, you can vote.
Aye.
all
Aye.
right, thank you.
Aye.
I'm honored.
Yes.
Now the vice chair, looking for a nomination.
Bree, would you entertain?
You can
a
nominate
nomination
anybody.
For vice chair, you don't look at that excited about it.
If you need me to, that's fine, but I think Ben would make a really good vice chair.
We can each nominate each other.
Well,
Unlike rock, paper, scissors.
you want to decline then?
No, I don't care. If you need me to be it, I can. But
I'll nominate Ben.
So that was your equivocal way of
That was very
getting
diplomatic.
vice chair.
Yeah.
I think he's great.
Oh, well,
There you go.
I mean, when you put it that way.
So would you like me to second the nomination for Ben?
Yes.
Okay, I second Ben's nomination
Ben, do you
for vice
accept?
chair.
I do accept the nomination for vice chair.
That
And
was
then do we have any other nominations?
horribly hot an article.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
very
Mr.
much.
Vice
Do
Chair.
my best.
Mr. Chair, I know there's no public participation, but I do have a communication. I do expect 2 appeals for the April meeting. And one will be fairly extensive for sure. It involves a new house with some issues.
Okay,
And then there's going to be another one that I believe, that I'm not sure yet, that we may have issues with. But both of them are new houses. So, they have their own set of circumstances, which we'll get into, and I'll supply you with the report. But we will need a full complement of 7. If you can't make it, please let me know as soon as possible. It's for April 10th.
10th, okay.
Yeah, and if you're not gonna be able to make it, because then everybody will be voting members, like the alternates will vote again, so I appreciate that.
do we have alternates
You
at
do
this
have
point?
alternates. You
Oh,
have
okay.
Adam, and Andy is still an alternate.
Okay,
I thought I wasn't an alternate.
Get the nod.
I thought I was blessed as being a non-alternate. Is that not true?
I think you're still an alternate until,
You went back on your word.
until, I'll
To
have
us,
check.
you're like a real member.
Regardless of which, because I think Joe filled, somebody's term.
Yes,
And then he took over that, so when that actually, so he automatically fills their term, and they would be a voting member. And then the next person would come on would be you two. But you may be, I'll go through it, but whatever the case, the alternates will be.
I gotta make sure my resume is what it needs.
The 10th isn't like, we're back for, there's no like school break. I don't
no,
think,
the school
but
break's
it's
the
not-
end of March.
Okay, and it's not like Easter observed.
I think it
it's
might
not
be the
like
day after
the-
Easter.
No, there's no,
City's
Easter's the
open.
9th,
Okay,
so it would be that Sunday,
Okay.
and this would be the Monday, so.
we'll
Okay.
be there.
I'm gonna open it up for public participation. Seeing nobody, I'm gonna close public participation. I look for a motion to adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Why are you,